Now let's move to another mystery. May 14th, 1948, about 4 o'clock, Ben-Gurion announces the rebirth of Israel. 12 o'clock that night, the mandate comes to an end. Nation of Israel is born in war. There's an amazing prophecy of Israel's resurrection in the book of Amos. There's several different ones. Amos 9:11 says this: "In that day I will raise up the fallen tabernacle of David." What is the tabernacle of David? It can refer to the throne of David, basically, but it certainly refers to the kingdom of David. The nation of Israel in modern times would be part of that. It's David's kingdom. The flag of, what's the flag of Israel? Star of David. God will raise up the nation of Israel that has fallen. And the word in Hebrew when it says, I will raise up the fallen tabernacle, is the word sukkah. Just like in Feast of Tabernacles, it's that flimsy little branch hut. And so it's saying, it's saying, God is saying this kingdom of David fell apart like a flimsy thing. It's all in pieces. But he says, I will raise it up. I'm going to take the piece. I'm going to raise it up again. On that day, it says, one day. Now, in the Bible, when it says that on that day, it can mean just the time, but it specifically means a day. So here it says on that day. Well, the day that tabernacle was raised up was May 14th, 1948, when Ben-Gurion announced Israel. What does it say? I will repair, it goes on to say, I will repair its damages. I will raise up its ruins, says God. So a nation that had been broken for 2,000 years, covered in ruins, is now going to be repaired by God. I will raise up its ruins. What does that mean? Where buildings had fallen, there's going to be buildings rising up. Where cities had fallen, there's going to be new cities rising up on those grounds. That's exactly what happened. God said it. God did it. The new city built on it. And then it says, I will rebuild it as in days of old. God says, I will rebuild it. What does that mean? God's saying, I'm going to rebuild that nation as it was in old. So the new nation is called Israel from the ancient nation. And all these things, as we saw, go back to where it was. The language, God rebuilds it. Its army, its land, its music, its culture. Even its coins are from the ancient times redone. And then it says, I will bring back my people from exile. I will bring them back. There's a picture of one of the ships coming back. So what was prophesied began in the days before the nation was born, that they started returning already, but its greatest fulfillment would come when Israel became a nation. Then the doors were open to all the exiles around the world to come back, the survivors of the Holocaust, all over, the persecuted from the Arab land, all of them start coming up. So the Lord would bring them back from exile. The prophecy continues. God says, they shall build the wasted cities and they will dwell in them. Again, the ruins are going to be raised up. More specifically, they're going to rebuild ancient cities with the same name on the ruins. You go to Israel, you see all these cities that are the ancient cities rebuilt on the ruins. Then it goes on, the prophecy, Amos. They will plant vineyards, they will drink wine from them, they will make gardens and eat fruit from them. Now, the prophecy had already said, or in the Bible, it says that the whole land's going to be devastated, no life on it, no grass on it, which is exactly what happened. But now it's saying they're going to come back and they're going to plant the land. The Bible said they're going to plant and it's going to blossom and they're going to eat fruit. Well, God is saying the land that was desolate is going to become like the Garden of Eden. Well, that's exactly what happened in Israel. The land that was desolate, now they go and they plant it all over there and the deserts bloom. But it goes on, it says that it says in the prophecy that they may possess the remnant of Edom and the nations called by name. Now, interesting. Edom is from Esau. Edom's descendants still are in Israel, or in the Middle East. The closest ones we could have, it doesn't mean the blood of Esau is there, and that is that the closest nation is Jordan. Jordan was part of Esau's nation, kingdom. And so it's interesting because in the War of Independence, Jordan comes in to fight Israel, wipe it out. But in the end, Israel would dispossess that. And here it says right now they're going to win against Edom. In that war, they would. The war that would begin the midnight after Ben-Gurion read it. I will be their God, and then he says, I will plant them. Now, all that came true. I mean, the Bible's amazing that what it said 2,000-3,000 years ago comes true in our day. But now go back to that day. It says, on that day, I will raise it up. On that day, he reads the declaration. On the declaration, it says, we declare it May 14th on this Sabbath eve. What does that mean? The declaration went forth as the Sabbath was coming. It was 4 p.m., Sabbath is coming, Friday afternoon. The nation's getting ready for the Sabbath. May 14th, the declaration, Friday. May 15th, Saturday, the day it comes into existence, Sabbath. What is the Sabbath? Friday night, Saturday day. It was all the Sabbath. Israel came back into the world on the Sabbath. Now on every Sabbath, there is an appointed scripture to be read on that day. And we've been seeing one of the mysteries is how God does his thing. And he has these appointed words. As I looked at, I was just amazed by one after the other that matches what happened. In every synagogue in the world, they open up the scroll and they read the appointed word. They chant it, they recite it, the appointed word appointed from ages past. Now there's two scrolls. One scroll is the Torah scroll, but there's another scroll called the Haftorah, which is the scroll of the prophets. And usually it's just a handful of verses. It's chosen verses. So there it happens. Israel's coming back into the world on that day, and all around the world, a scripture is being chanted. What was the scripture? The scripture on that day of Israel's rebirth was, on that day I will raise up the tabernacle of David. On that day, which has fallen down. So God appoints. So as Ben-Gurion is reading the words all over the world, Jewish people are proclaiming, not knowing, chanting the words of the resurrection of Israel as it's happening. And the ancient word said, I will bring my people back from exile. Well, it's amazing because I looked at what Ben-Gurion said, and it matches the prophecy. He says that the nation of Israel will be open now for the ingathering of the exiles, same word.
To find out how you can receive more of Jonathan's teachings, to receive special free gifts, or get in touch, go to hopeoftheworld.org or call toll-free 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's hopeoftheworld.org or call 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's 1-800-937-4821. You can also get more at Jonathan Cahn's Facebook page or write us direct at Hope of the World, Box 1111, Lodi, New Jersey 07644, USA.